Welcome to the Dietitian Side Hustle podcast. My name is Katie Dodd, and I'm a nutrition entrepreneur. I spent 7 years as a side hustler before diving into entrepreneurship full time. Before making the leap, I was bringing in 6 figures through my side hustle. If I can do it, you can too. This podcast is for dietitians, interns, and students who want to be inspired to start or perfect the side hustle of their dreams. Let's do this. Hello and welcome to the 182nd episode of the Dietitian Side Hustle podcast, 75 Hard. In today's episode, I wanted to share a little bit of a journey I'm on doing the program known as 75 Hard. So I'm going to start off by telling you what the heck 75 Hard is, then sharing a little bit about why I'm doing it, and even some kind of like highlights I've gleaned from this book called 75 Hard. So if you're not familiar, 75 Hard is a challenge. It is a 75-day challenge designed to really develop mental toughness and grit. Some people call it an exercise program. Some people modify it, but there really is only one 75 Hard. And it's not meant to be, it is a physical program, but that's not like the main outcome. It's more about what happens in here, in your brain. So 75 Hard was created by a gentleman named Andy Frisella, and he has a book. There's an app. He's got a website, he's got a podcast, he's got all kinds of things. And I recently read his book, and I was actually giggling as I read it because Andy and I have very different personalities. I am very much sparkles and sunshine and rainbows and positivity. And Andy is a straight shooter. It is what it is, likes to drop F-bombs. And I remember reading his book, I was giggling because we believe so many of the same things. We just say it in very, very different ways. So anyways, it's definitely a book I'd recommend, but he definitely has his own personality, which is very different from mine, but that is okay. So let me tell you a little bit about what 75 Hard is, because there's things you have to do. So pretty much for 75 days, there are tasks that you must do every day. If you miss one day, even one piece of the list of things to do, you have to start over again at day one. The thing about 75 Hard, there are no modifications. There are no, you can't change anything. You can change it if you want. You just can't call it 75 Hard. So the things that you have to do every single day. You have to do 2 45-minute workouts. And that is 45 minutes in a row, not 30 minutes here, 15 minutes there. A 45-minute workout, 2 a day, so not back to back, so 2 separate times. And one of those has to be outside, regardless of weather conditions. It could be hot, it could be humid, it could be rainy, it could be icy. One of those workouts has to be outside. You have to follow a diet, whatever that looks like to you. I will say as a dietitian, I appreciated that he didn't say you have to follow this fad diet. He actually says in the book, he talks about how some people need to gain weight. Some people need to build muscle, follow a diet, whatever that looks like for you based on your health needs. Then you have to take a progress pic every day. And he does say, because this program is about mental toughness, but we can't take a picture of the progress in our brains, but we know that by doing these activities, we probably will see changes in our body. So that's why he says the progress pic, because you can't see the changes in your mind, but you can see some of those changes in your body as you're getting fitter and stronger, more muscles, all the things. Then drinking a gallon of water every day, no alcohol, and reading 10 pages of a nonfiction or a professional development book. So those are the things. 2 45-minute workouts, one of which is outside, follow a diet, take a progress pic, 1 gallon of water, no alcohol, and read 10 pages a day. That's a lot, right? It's a lot. And again, you can't modify it. You can't modify it at all. And if you skip something, if you forget something, you have to start over at day one. It doesn't matter if you're on day 74. You forget to do one of those workouts, you're back on day one. So it really is a challenge and it is hard, but one of the cool things about it, and what I like the most about it, is that it's where we are intentionally putting ourselves in hard situations and seeing, okay, what are the choices we're going to make? What are we going to do? Because we know that hard things always happen, right? And the question is, when things are hard, do we just give up? Do we just say, no, I'm not going to do that? I tried, but that's just too much. Or are we going to get creative, find a workaround, find another way to do things? I am currently working on my business, got 2 kiddos. My house is a disaster with my kitchen remodel. but I'm still finding time to do this. And I gotta say, it makes me think differently. I have to get more creative. If I need to do these 2 45-minute workouts, I have to be more mindful of my time. I have to make sure the minutes that I have matter and that I'm efficient in what I do. So I am currently I'm recording this January 3rd, 2024. I'm on day 23. And I will tell you, the benefits I've already gotten from this challenge have been phenomenal. Phenomenal. And it's really all about my mindset and how I'm showing up and how I am approaching life. It's been so incredible. It's one of those things, it's like it's hard to describe unless you're actually doing it. A lot of people don't do it. Most people don't finish it because it's real hard. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of peeing. Drinking a gallon of water a day, I am like peeing all the time. So why am I doing this? Tell you a couple of reasons why. I think the reason why I'm doing it right now, I was actually seeing my friend last month, December 2023. I went to South Carolina to see my friend Lindsay, and her husband got this book in the mail, 75 Hard. And I was like, oh, are you guys doing 75 Hard? And she's like, yeah, we're going to do it together. I had bought this book. It's been sitting on my bookshelf. I knew about 75 Hard. I thought about doing it, but it's one of those things, it's real hard to do on your own. So when they were doing it, I'm like, I will do it with you. So I went ahead and started this challenge in December, which was kind of perfect timing because sometimes we tell ourselves, I'll wait till the new year. But I like the idea of like starting before the new year, like hit the ground running. So that's really why the timing. Now, why I wanted to do 75 Hard was I knew that it was a powerful program and helped a lot with mindset. My business coach, Greg Todd, has done 75 Hard. When I first joined his high level mastermind, it was in June of 2021. I joined his $30,000 high level mastermind, still working a full-time job, had no idea what I was going to do next, but I joined the program and he had us do this challenge, and it was called the Smart Success Healthcare Challenge. Very similar to 75 Hard, except it was 90 days long. Instead of 2 45-minute workouts, he just said work out 60 minutes a day. And then he had us take a gratitude picture every day, communicate with our audience every day, and oh gosh, something else. Gratitude picture. Oh, use his planner. He has a planner. It's called the Get Time Planner. It's really all about time management and focus. And so using the planner every day. And I remember at that season of my life, I'm like, I am working full time. I am a mom. I've got my side hustle in these businesses I'm doing. I've got big goals. How am I going to be able to fit in this challenge? How am I going to be able to fit in an extra hour a day of working out? How am I going to be able to fit in reading 10 pages of a book every day? How am I going to be able to fit in all the bathroom breaks because I'm drinking water all the time? But I did it. And I saw so many results from doing it because you think like, okay, I take an hour to exercise, that's time away. But what it did is it made me more efficient in the time I had. Even how I mentioned with 75 Hard, I'm getting creative with time. That's what it forced me to do. I had to get creative with time. I had to be more efficient. It forced me into a situation where I had to be at peak performance in every area of my life. And I really think by doing that challenge, that's what really helped me do all the things I needed to do 6 months later. I left my job. So I knew how powerful a challenge like this is. Many times I've tried to start the Smart Success Healthcare Challenge again by myself because, I can start at any time. But for me, if I'm doing it on my own, sometimes it's hard. I need community because life gets busy, life gets crazy. Oh, I've got a cold. I'm just gonna lay in bed, instead of like, okay, I don't feel good, but what are some ways I can move my body and exercise even with not feeling good? So anyways, getting more creative in how I do things. So why I'm doing it is because I know that it is life-changing. I know that it's all about the mental game. I know it's all about mental toughness. It's all about resilience. And that's what I need right now in the season of my life. I will tell you, December 2023, there were a lot of 1-year anniversary things that happened in my life that I was bracing myself like I might have a really hard time. If I'm really struggling with my mental health, I got to have grace. But I didn't experience struggles, even though I was expecting to struggle with my mental health in the month of December this year. I think because I was doing 75 Hard, instead of laying in bed and feeling sad, I got up and I moved my body. Moving our bodies makes us feel better. It's great for mental health. That's actually the main reason I exercise. And so I'm just grateful I had this program because I really feel like I went through a season that probably would have been a lot harder, and I went through it with joy and excitement and happiness and mental toughness and resilience. And I will tell you, there's nothing better than feeling like, oh, I'm just not going to be able to do this today. And you do it anyways. And you realize how capable we are of doing amazing things. So let me share a little bit from the book because I have the book pulled up. I have several pages I want to share with you. And I feel like one of these, I feel like I shared this somewhere with you guys. I don't know if this was on the podcast or Facebook or wherever, but at the beginning of 75 Hard, well, it's actually in chapter 5 and 6, Andy shares a personal story about how he got attacked. He got attacked by someone and he got stabbed with a knife on his face, and it created a lot of scars. And in turn, it really messed with his mindset, his mental health. He was, embarrassed to be outside. Like there was a lot of self-fulfilling prophecy based on he thought other people saw him that way. So he behaved in a way that kind of made those things come true. And so he was just really struggling. And then he met this woman, I think like in a grocery store or something. And she was someone who had burns all over her face. And she cracked a joke, and it was like this moment for him that he realized, you know what? These scars on my face aren't a bad thing. I don't have to let it hold me back. This could be my superpower. This could be my advantage. And he had this whole shift in his perspective. And he shares in the book even about how he put like my scars were giving us a competitive edge. Him and his friend were business partners. They have a supplement company, like a store that they had started. And what he said is like, people don't remember facts and, statistics, but they remember stories. And people remembered his story. People didn't always remember his name, but they remembered his face, the guy with the scars. And what he realized is like his stab wounds actually made him unique. They made him stand out. They made people remember him, which in turn helped him in business. So I actually laughed out loud when I read this part. He said, after sharing this whole story and about how he had that mindset shift and how he started realizing this was actually an advantage, he said, bottom line, getting stabbed in the face was great for business. I laughed out loud when I read that. Like I said, he's got a funny personality, but what an interesting perspective when we can look at something that happened to us that was so devastating and so horrible, and we can turn around and look at it and think like, oh man, this actually was for me. This was actually really great for business. So this is kind of talking about some of the mindset stuff in 75 Hard. It's all about how you look at the world. He has this whole chapter. It's chapter 11, and I'm not going to say the words because they're bad words. They're not horrible words. But he talks about how every day there's an epic battle going on inside of us. And I often talk about this, about like the battle in your head of you versus you, and how like we all have that internal voice that could be super mean. And so pretty much he says that we have this epic battle in our heads, and I'm just going to phrase it as we have the positive voice and the negative voice. He uses some choice words to describe those voices. And what he talks about is how that negative voice is always dragging us down. It's always like, who do you think you are? What are you doing? You shouldn't be doing that. It's like negative and always drags us down. Where that positive voice is like, you've got this, you're a boss, you can do this. And so he says through 75 Hard, pretty much you're learning how to silence that negative voice and how to empower the positive voice. So with 75 Hard, you're going to hear that negative voice say like, oh, it's too cold to walk. You've done enough. You can rest. You've done enough. No one's going to know if you don't do that. Like that voice in your head will rationalize. It will make excuses. It will tell you X, Y, and Z. And if you give in to it, how you show up in one area of your life is how you show up in all areas of your life. And if you're tired of doing that, this is where 75 Hard comes in. Because you do it anyways. You listen to that positive voice that says you can do this. There is a way around it. We can figure out an alternative way of doing things. And you know what? We're not going to listen to your negative voice. We are going to follow the positive voice. So again, 75 Hard is all about putting yourself in situations where things are hard. You're doing it on purpose. And then when you overcome it, just that mental toughness and resilience and belief in yourself that I can do hard things. I can do anything. It continues to transform you in ways that are really hard to describe. And I hope I'm doing an okay job at describing this to you. So I guess the last thing I shared, I put a couple little notebooks in the book that I wanted to share with you guys. So there's a quote here. It's on page 147. It says, "It's their mindset that drives their relentless improvement, their never-ending commitment to becoming the best of the best, always better than the way they were the day before." And I really like that because I do believe mindset's everything. And anytime I have an opportunity to continue to challenge and push my mindset, to be relentless for improvement, to be committed to being the best version of myself and being better than the day before, like, man, I can't even describe to you how amazing 75 Hard has been. It has been hard, but for me, it has been joyful. And again, I think a lot of it is I'm going through this with a friend and we're sharing a lot of our struggle, a lot of all the things. And so 75 Hard. I've been sharing on Instagram actually every day. At the Katie Dodd is my Instagram handle. So if you want to see every single day, I'm sharing what day number I'm on. If at some point I forget, I will be starting over. But my goal is to continue till I finish the program. And then from there, we'll see where I go. So anyways, that's all I had to share for today. If you're interested, you could just Google, learn more about 75 Hard. It's not for everyone. You do have to be it has to be the right time for you, right? I mean, sometimes we all need different things at different times, and 75 Hard has been amazing for me at this season of my life. And I'm excited to see how it continues to help me in business, help me in my personal life, and just to continue to help me in all the ways. So hope that was helpful, learning a little bit about my 75 Hard journey. Um, I'm getting tired. This is my third podcast episode in a row. And I'm doing a training tonight on goal setting. If you are coming or you went, because this episode's going live later, thanks for coming. So, all that to say, my brain's fuzzy and I'm trying to remember. I feel like there's something I need to tell you. Visit katiedodd.com to find out about all the ways we could work together. A couple big things going on right now. The Blog Biz Challenge, 3-day Blog Biz Challenge is coming up end of January. Be sure to go to katiedodd.com to register. It is super affordable, $3 for general admission, $30 for VIP. Every dietitian should start a blog business. Be sure to check it out. And thanks so much for listening to the podcast. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.